Hello and welcome to an InkDependence.com brief video review and water drop test. This time we have Staedtler's Blue. This was sent out to me by Corey from Staedtler, who I met at the DC Fountain Pen Show. That's very cool. I've got this in bottles and also a couple of packs of cartridges. They only make blue and black at this point, but I haven't tried the black one yet. But the blue one is actually darn good, as you'll see. Comes in this little bottle. It's a 30 ml bottle. And actually it's called Royal Blue. I just have it listed as blue everywhere. I didn't notice until just now that it was Royal Blue. The only place I've actually seen where you can buy this online is, well, maybe Staedtler itself. But in the US, the one that I found was Jet Pens, and they're selling it for $16.50 in this little bottle. So it's kind of expensive, but I think you get a lot for $16.50. It's actually a very nice ink. So it comes in this little box, which I'll close right quick. There you go. Kind of unassuming little box, but classy enough, gets the job done. Actually, it says Royal Blue right there, and I just missed it. So, anyway, Staedtler Royal Blue. So, put those to the side. I had this in 2 pens, and it is definitely kind of a purpley blue. And it's got a big, good amount of sheen, as you can see here, if you put down enough. So if you have this in a nice wet pen, you'll see some sheen. You'll see a little bit of shading, maybe, but just kind of minimal amounts of shading, not a whole lot. The flow is also very good, quite controlled in the 2 pens I had it in. One of them was this, which is a Conklin Crescent. This is one of the modern ones. This is a 1.1 stub nib, which is a really nice nib. I like this one quite a bit. It does tend to be a little bit wet. It was not particularly wet with this ink. It works just fine, no problems. You get a little bit of, yeah, see, there you go. I haven't used this in a while, so pretty good. I also have it in this pen, which is a fake Mont Blanc that my wife brought me back from Cambodia. She found it in a night market, and it looks pretty nice this way. You open it up, you can tell it's definitely not a Mont Blanc, but it also has a slightly stubby nib that's marked. Is it marked anything? It's marked fine, but that's nonsense. Just like this being a Mont Blanc is nonsense. But it does have a nice line. This one's quite a wet pen. It's a little bit stubby. It's more like a medium than a fine, but it works really well in both of those pens, so that's good. And like I said, you do get a fair amount of shading or sheen in there, which is cool. Not a whole lot of shading, and that's fine. Not every ink has to have shading, and a lot of people actually don't care for shading, so there you go. Let's see. Oh, bleeding feathering spread. Oh, this is a great part about this ink. Even if you aren't super fond of that purpley color, a lot of people like just a straight up blue. This one is definitely a more purpley blue, as you'll see when we get to some of the comparisons later on down the page. But, you know, it's a purpley blue, but man, it performs super well on regular copy paper. This is nothing special. It's a Staples 20-pound copy paper, and there is nary a feather to be found. Maybe one right there, maybe. But compare that to the performance of this, let's see, I'll zoom in just a little bit here. The performance of this platinum carbon, which is like bled and feathered and spread all over the place. Let's turn this over. This is the carbon. This is the Staedtler. So a little bit coming through, maybe, but really that's just because I have kind of a bright light going on. It's a thin white paper, but no real bleed. Just a couple of dots coming through. No big deal. Very nice. So that's a great point in favor of this ink. I totally dropped that piece of paper. Come here. All right. So that's that. All right. Move on down the page. We can go ahead and look at this these color comparisons here. Let me zoom in quite a bit. I'm going to do this kind of awkwardly. It's dark, and I've got people staying in the room. I'll do it, and usually when I have to use my lights, but I'm trying this at my desk. So anyway, we've got here the Staedtler Blue up on top, which is obviously kind of a purpley blue. And then Ackerman number 5, which is called Shocking Blue underneath that. See if I can catch the light just right. There we go. Look at all the sheen in that Shocking Blue. That's coming up soon. That one. Then underneath that, Private Reserve's Daphne Blue, which is a very light blue, kind of almost a turquoise sort of color. Aurora Blue underneath that, which is also sort of a purpley blue. I haven't reviewed Aurora Blue yet. I got that bottle actually from Ryan at Kenro, so I'll have that soon. That's a purpley blue. It's also darker than this one. It's more purple and it's darker than Staedtler, but it doesn't perform quite as well, I don't think. We'll have that review for another day. And then at the bottom, just some blacks to sort of round it out. And then a green, because I had it sitting around, and why not? That's Mont Blanc's Defoe Green, which is very cool. So this ink, yeah, not very blue. It's more purpley than it is blue. It goes down sort of purplish, but it becomes more cobalty as it dries, so it gets a little bit more blue character to it. All right, let's try the water drop test here. Oh, my syringe has stuff in it. Wow. I'll grab the auxiliary syringe. one moment while I do this thing. And here we go. Okay, let's get some water on the page here. Oh, well, we got plenty of water on the page. I don't think anybody's going to say we didn't get water on that page. All right. So we'll let it do its thing. And it actually looks like it's doing okay. You can see a little bit of it swirling away, but not too bad so far. I'm kind of impressed. All right, let's go ahead and mop that up. And not much came off, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and do a little more dabbing here. Goodness. Paper towel does not want to behave. Here we go. So, water resistant, sure. I'll say it's kind of resistant. Somebody asked me recently what I think of when I think of water resistant, like how do I define it? And actually, I go out of my way not to, because we're all gonna have sort of different definitions of what that means in our head. So for me, this is kind of water resistant because you can definitely see the lines after it's been doused and blotted away and wiped off. These are definitely blue lines and blue dots. So water resistant, yes. Waterproof, no, not at all. A lot of it came off. But water resistant, yeah, sure. And then of course there are other inks like this Kiwaguru that doesn't really do much. When water hits it, you lose a little bit of the top layer, but not much. And platinum carbon, which doesn't move at all, things like that. But this one, I would say, yeah, moderately water resistant. So there you go. That's cool. All right. Oh, we've got chromatography. Here's where I'll insert the chromatography video. Aha. Okay. So this is what the chromatography ends up looking like. It fades quite a bit. But, not too bad. There's still a good layer left down here at the bottom. You can definitely see where it started. And it stopped up here before the water stopped. So, as you saw in that video, probably, the water kind of kept creeping up even though it had stopped drawing ink with it. So, that's pretty good. Pretty impressed with that. So, not super waterproof, but water resistant? Yeah, a bit. All right. So, this has been Staedtler's Royal Blue, not just regular old blue. Royal blue. There we go. Look at all that sheen. Very cool. This is a cool ink. It's a little bit on the pricey side, perhaps, at $16.50 for 30 mils. But in my opinion, I think that's not bad. 30 mils is still going to last you quite a while. That's probably, I don't know, 30-ish fills of a pen, give or take, depending on the capacity of your pen. But a converter, I don't know, a little less than a mil probably per fill. So you'll be all right for quite a while. So give this one a whirl. Try this out. And thanks again to Corey for sending this out for me to try out. I'll have the Staedtler Black coming up soon sometime. I got to put that in a pen, thinking of it. But that'll be happening soon. And until then, see y'all later. Oh, hey, if you like what's going on in this blog and you say to yourself, man, I've got a couple extra bucks every month, go to patreon.com/inkdependence to find out how you can help contribute to the blog with your cash monies that are extra. It will set up a way for you to just donate a couple of bucks automatically. It'll charge your card. And you can, skip a month or 2 months or whatever it is that makes you happy. But that would be great if you could help me out with the blog. I'd like it if it made a little bit of cash for me so I can buy new cool stuff. So that's my plug. See y'all later. Peace out.